So you guys have already spent some time learning how to make graphs on Excel, and right now we're looking at making the graphs position versus time and velocity versus time for the speeding up, down, and incline lab. I'm not going to focus too much attention on the mechanics of making the graph because you already practiced that, but I want to spend a little time talking about how to print out the graphs in a presentable sort of way using a minimum of paper. So I copied the data that I want to actually graph here, and what I'm going to do is highlight that, insert, add a scatter plot, and here we go. Now I'm going to skip over the part where you add the axis titles and the title of the graph. I will add a trend line. This is a position versus time graph, and it looks like it could be linear or it could be a curve, but it's looking more curvy. So I right click on a data point, add the trend line, and I'm giving these options. Now, normally, given a curve, you would guess it's probably a power. Nothing we ever do in this class is going to be exponential. So I might select a power fit, and that's a reasonably good fit. But in this case, let's just go ahead and do polynomial. The second order, which means it's a quadratic equation. And I'm going to add display equation on the chart and show the r-squared value. I'll close that. Now, most importantly here, I want to move the chart to somewhere. Now, I could print it here with this data table, but just so we know how to do this, I'm going to go up here to move the chart and make it be an object in a different sheet. I'm going to put that in sheet 2. Click OK. So now it's on sheet 2. Going back here now, I'm going to make my velocity time graph, and obviously I can't highlight all of that because I don't want the position information. So what I'm going to do is highlight just the time, and now you can't see this, but I'm pushing the control key. I'm on a PC. If you're on a Mac, then you would push the command key and hold it while you highlight the next set of data, and that will skip over the things I don't want. I'm going to insert my graph. It's a scatter plot, and I'm going to add my trend line. This looks like it's clearly a linear fit. Display my r-squared value in my equation. By the way, especially on a Mac, it'll make these numbers very small and hard to read when you print them. So if you click on that whole box and go to Home, there's a button here to make the font larger. Make that a little bigger so that those of us with older eyes are able to see that. Okay, so there's my graph. Of course, you would add a title and label your axes, but that's not our primary concern here. Look, I lost my button saying Move Chart. That's going to be under Chart Tools. No, is it Design? Yes, it is. You can look at the different chart tools you have here. This all looks a little different depending on which version of Excel you have, but it's all the same stuff, just in different places. I'm going to move that chart and make that an object in sheet 2 as well. So now I've got both charts here, my position time, my velocity versus time. I don't need this here. I'm going to delete that. That's just meaningless and taking up space. Make sure everything is presentable. Now, is this actually going to print on one page? How can I know? I want to go to View, and I'll look at page layout. And this shows me what it's going to look like on the actual paper. So that looks like it'll all fit very nicely. I even have a little more room. I could move this maybe make it a little bigger if I want to. Oh, that didn't work. Make it a little bigger if I want to. You might decide, maybe I want this to be in landscape mode. How would I do that? Go to page layout, orientation. I could click landscape and see what that will look like. And no, I don't really like that. I'm going to go with portrait. That's how you would do that. And it's not really changing anything at this point. If I want to go back to the normal view, look, now that I've done that, I can see the dotted lines that mark where the pages are. At this point, I could simply print my graph. And when I do that, it doesn't look like what I want. So let's go back and figure out what happened. Oh, I highlighted the graph. I don't want that. I want to just be selecting the page. So let's see what that looks like now. Print. Ah, that's what I want. Now you will want to add a footer to your document. So when you go to the printer and there are about 100 pages there, you'll be able to tell which one is yours. How can I do that? So insert header or footer and add your name into that. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this is helpful.